only mandate of this. This institution cannot crucify anybody. This committee cannot beat anybody. The only thing we want to make sure, to the letter and with an attitude, is to make sure that government institutions, ministry agents are accountable to the government. That's the people who voted post or commission. That's the only thing. That's the only one. No which funding. They know which funding. Okay. No which funding. So, Barrister, we now agree by way of our standing order. When we go from the stand down, we are now going to go by this strictly. You understand? What happened is you have to know sometimes when judges are sitting in jury, they don't have some. The way I think is from how you think, but you must come to a judgment. You understand? Either you dissent or dissent or disagree. So that is normal. So now we're going to go by this, and we have.
So just all right. We have tech at 2 p.m.
2 p.m.
Yes.
This meeting, yeah, this meeting is
anyone stop one.
I think the schedule is 1 for this meeting. So when we don't finish, you guys will definitely go out. So that is it now. You have given us the entire, explanation of the procurement process that leads you guys to award contract for lot 1, lot 2, lot 3, and to these 3 share companies. You said you justify it, even though I have made some observation. We can do that after this. So where do we stop? Bid evaluation report. Bid evaluation report and recommendation of award of contract for the procurement and delivery of fertilizer was conducted on the 9th February 2021. The following 5 bidders were invited for the procurement. Zen Enterprise, Guide Group, Adonis Enterprise, Nick Group, and Sedina, Nero, and Mandu. Among 5 bidders invited, 4 purchased a bidding document. 4 purchased the bidding document, while 3 bidders submitted bids. Honorable members, I understand.
Yes.
4 of them purchased the bidding document, but fortunately only 3 were able to submit. So therefore, the last one who did not submit will not concern this committee. Among the 5 bidders invited. Okay, I read that. Evaluation criteria. This was the criteria they set up to evaluate. When you want something from different people, you set your goal and objective, what you want. That's what they mean by have a criteria. So therefore, number 1, verification of the bid. A bid validity, that should be validity, not validity. A bid validity period should not be less than 90 days with an amount 22% of the bid total price. Are we there? Letter of confirmation that the bidder will have access to finance. This letter of confirmation should come from the banks. So this 22% bid, the total contract price, that should sit in the bank as this thing, this thing. So exactly, sort of. Completeness with all the required documentation stated in bidding document. Certificate of business registration incorporation. This will be administrative compliance during your evaluation. Proof of having executed contracts of similar magnitude in the past 5 years. This is where the committee recommendation will come. Next time when we are given criteria for bid, do you understand? Now when you say this, proof of executes contracts of similar magnitude, this is so open, Director. This is so open. It means that now, even I went to Bassier, or I went to Sudmasere, or I went to Kuloro, and built a house of 9 million. Therefore, I'm qualified to supply this. This is why I find it very interesting. It should be more specific to supply.
I want to observe.
Okay.
To still enable us proceed with this meeting.
Okay.
It will be better.
Okay.
If you just read this.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Then you flow.
Okay. Thank you very much. So we can talk about it later. Tenants which did not meet all the conditions shall be rejected at the preliminary evaluation. In the minutes of the contract committee meeting dated 12 to 13 January 2021 states that bidders should submit along their bid proof of having executed contract of same magnitude in the past 5 years of within a minimum value of 1 million. Discrepancies as observed by the researchers. It was observed that During the preliminary evaluation, Zen Enterprise Lot 2 did not submit their bid bond and bank confirmation, yet they were awarded the contract of supply of fertilizer. I will tell you. Zen Enterprise bidding document, supply and delivery of 10,000 tons of compound fertilizer. Total price $9,650,000. A similar contract of the same magnitude was executed in 2016-2017, and the above company found to be financially very capable of handling tender of this nature. Eligibility were equally attached. 2021 fertilizer increases irrespective of the implication for 2022 cost. It was indicated in Zen's bidding document dated August 3rd, 2021, that the past years have registered a dramatical increase of fertilizer prices, thereby making a sharp projection of near record high fertilizer cost in 2022. According to the historical suggestions, the increase in price could be attributed to the following: labor shortage, rising wages, production going down to 60% due to lack of labor and overbooking of fertilizer production companies. On the 25th January 2021, the National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation, formerly GGC, issued a bidding document which stated that tenders shall be considered for evaluation if the tenderers fulfill the under-mentioned conditions, which are bidding document number 10. Discrepancies. The notice of contract was awarded in February of 2020, and the contract agreement was signed in 24th February. Even though the recited did not say, is it 2021 or 2020? 2020. Okay. The notice of contract was awarded in February 2020, and the contract agreement was signed in February 2020. It should be 2020. Document submitted by Global Trading Company Limited. Tender form, restricted tender, letter of intent, GPPA certificate of supplier contractor registration, TIN certificate, bid form, similar contract and notification of award of contract. Discrepancies. Minutes of contract committee dated 21st January 2021 indicated that GPPA highlighted the reasons for disapproval for restricted tender, but the letter of disapproval was not submitted to the committee. However, we must take note of this place. At the beginning, GPPA in fact did not bless the process, but you guys went ahead to convince them. We want to also see that way of how do you guys convince them under disapproval letter. That's also very important. In the same communique, the committee unanimously agreed for the procurement officer to give the list of companies for supplying fertilizer, which were as follows: Felmango, EFE Establishment, Tambedu Field Shell, TV&MEDIA and Son Limited, Zen Enterprise, Adonis, Sadina Nero, Guide Global, and Unique Solution. Anyway, now questions.
That's the
That's the
question.
With us.
Okay, okay, thank you very much. Now we go to the questions now. Honorable members, we all pay attention to details and explanation submitted by our able researchers, but that does not mean that we should only be fixed so that we can ask anything related to fertilizer issue as far as our oversight scrutiny function is concerned. It's not only this question that we're going to ask. We can ask as much as we can. So now the floor is now open to honorable members to ask questions, and these questions should be in record, so that when we are sending our recommendations to the Ministry of to DGs and Ministry of Agriculture, we'll be able to reflect on these records to make a very comprehensive recommendation. Yeah. Honorable Ture.
Honorable Chair, we've talked about the evaluation criteria.
Correct.
If I could request documents, the criteria that they use. And I'm sure there are other documents that have been sent to the office for these tenders. Say, if this committee requested those documents for verifications, what's going to be your take on that?
It's already submitted.
Yeah, that is why we honorable members should have, when these documents were submitted for 3 weeks, I don't know people here.
I have said that
3 weeks.
before.
Yeah, we should have gone over these documents, but unfortunately, as I said, your committee engagement, most of you are overstated or other committees, because me personally, then I requested them to submit. I talked to the Honorable Chair on phone, Honorable Dabo, that this document submitted. He said yes. I told him that when they are submitted, you should call for a meeting for honorable members to come and review this document. He said no, if anybody is interested, you go to a recital. That is why I was interested. I took the documents home with me for 2 days, and Honorable Jammeh also took the documents to review. So it was, no, I know, it was not proper. The Honorable Chair could have called the committees to come and look at this document here before inviting these people. I agree with you 100%. But these documents are submitted and your question is there. All the evaluation criteria are in this document.
Even before the start of this meeting.
Exactly. Yeah, this is a learning curve for us as a committee. We talk about that.
Internal issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Honorable. So
okay, how do we ask, what method do we take to ask these questions behind, because they are very important?
You can go ahead with the...
Do we give them the copy?
No, the choice is
Or
small.
or the chair will,
this question is there for any one of you to ask.
It's open to any of you.
Any one of you.
You can come up with any
Yeah.
question.
they are already there.
If you have questions outside this question, we are still immediately
Exactly, but it's also important we exhaust them.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yes, Honorable.
Honorable Chair, my question is like, what are the mechanisms used by National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation to counter supplier that provide false bidding document?
Number.
The last number.
Cancel it now.
Yes. The last number. I don't know whether I can read again or you understood it.
Yes.
To answer that question, with the documents we received from the suppliers, the procurement officer confirmed there was no false document, unless he refers specifically what was that. We did not receive any false documents.
There were some companies you said have submitted a false document in relation to this type of contract before.
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
The name of this,
That's why they were not invited in the subsequent procurement.
Okay.
So his question is, how do you guys reach to the conclusion they have sent a false document, a contract before?
Yeah, before. It was a contract before. It was
Let
an open.
me just help you.
Yes.
Example, we told them to bring a bank something confirmation. But then they went and brought an insurance from Senegal, which is, I think that insurance was not even existing. That was like the previous procurement. That's why they were disqualified.
Now,
They were disqualified.
let me help
Because
you.
at the end of the day, you need to assess the supplier's performance.
Right now, so that you can take it from. Now, when you tell companies to submit bid security, you told them only within the Gambia.
Yeah, it was clearly said those international suppliers have to have a corresponding bank within the Gambia of getting that bid security in case of default. That's why they have to
So why do
submit
you
a
guys
cross.
speaking different?
No, what I'm saying is that's what they provide.
Then he was not there.
That's what they provide. No, chap. That is what they
Wait,
provide.
you know, for me, this is why I say the contract award was a performance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Even though you did not subject to that, and you know, you said
Let me
that
land. I think we are all speaking the same thing.
Exactly,
Maybe
yeah.
you guys don't get us.
My question is, the honorable member want to know why that company was involved because of supply system. Now, because under normal circumstances, when you ask for a bid security, you understand, you can verify from any bank around the globe. So that's why I asked whether in your document you say banks or financial institutions only within the Gambia.
No, it was clearly stated on the bidding document.
Show us that.
No, that was the previous, well before this document. You know, at the end of the procurement process, we
What's your name
evaluate Mr. Abdullah Cham, the procurement officer.
Let's take this easy and let's go very straight to the point.
That's
Whether it is a document prepared by people 10 years ago, we want to see it.
exactly.
You understand? That's your criteria. That said, only financial institution within the Gambia. The committee want to see, because this was the basis that you eliminated a company that has spoken your bidding document.
So that's what I want to clarify.
Okay.
Yeah, we have them. We have that one.
Okay.
It's 2019.
Can I say something?
Yeah, 2019, but we want to see it.
Yeah, we'll provide.
Can I say something, Chair?
Huh?
Can I say something?
Yes.
Please, I think with all due respect to this House and to the honorable members, I think if we approach this objectively, this thing will end within 30 minutes. So I think everything about this process, as far as I'm concerned, was crystal clear. And you've mentioned here that the first day we met that this National Assembly is a National Assembly of a difference. That's the same approach that we had at the corporation when we came.
Okay.
When we came at the corporation, there was only 1 or 2 people with BSc degree. Now we have people with chartered accounting. I'm telling you. Yeah, and
nice.
also we have departments created there to ensure segregation of duties, accountability, and transparency. So we had that approach that you actually mentioned on that day. I can tell you with all certainty that this process was crystalline transparent. So if you just have that objective approach without any preconceived mind, please, with all due respect, we will finish this thing within 30 minutes. Because all the questions raised, all the issues raised by your researcher, we appreciate it. We appreciate them very well. But we have answers to almost all of them. That, I believe, will even satisfy you more. His question is, what happens if we establish that a supplier actually did provide us with false information, if implying in the previous procurement proceedings? The law is very clear. GPP should even that can even be a matter of department. But as far as we are concerned, at our own level, to make sure that this fertilizer was different, we make sure that all those people are actually eliminated. They are not involved. And the other new people who came, what happened is they sent letter of interest. They sent letter of interest that's unique and get global. Maybe we can also avail you. It's unfortunate that probably those documents were not there. And that was the basis of them being contacted. Is it? So if that actually clarifies your question. So if that happens, we do not involve them in the subsequent procurement. And that's what actually the contact committee did.
The only minor part there.
Honorable Member, wait for your follow-up questions. We have Honorable Bayi and Honorable Yunus.
Thank you for your time. Although, to be very specific with you, we are not asking for qualification. We are asking the question how. And that leads to the explanation.
Yes.
We are not telling you whether it's clear or not clear. We want you to clear it.
Yeah,
that is what we are asking. So clear it, not to tell us it's clear. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Yunus.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. During your reading, you made mention of renewal of contracts. And there was no, it seems that there was no document since or prepared. So I want to know, where is the documents for the initial contract of 2021?
Yes. And to add on to what the Honorable Member said, I swear nobody questioned anybody's qualification. Nobody will do that. That's not our mandate. But you said if we are objective, I think you guys, your director of the address the Honorable Member, this word that we want to create problems instead of solutions, and this will never be. These are some of the words you don't use when we are in a committee meeting. Because we will look objective. We are very objective. I swear to God, we are very objective. So you also will come ahead and use another adjective if we are objective. Like if we are not objective, it's not your role is to explain, but we are going to reason whether it is clear or not clear. That is not also, you don't force that on us. We will reason. You give your submission, and we are going to reason. We also have brains. And we will reason whether what you are saying is true or not. That's not going to be fixed on us by way of intimidating us with qualification.
Just to watch there.
There's a this one, if it was not answered, let them.
Yeah, ask that question.
Maybe just to watch there.
Let him answer Honorable Yunus's question. Yes. Yes?
My problem is, if you asked us to swear on the oath, which we did, you asked him a direct question, and he told you that it is directly in the document, but yet still, it's like you don't trust him, even if he's on the oath, you are asking him to bring a document that is not within the scope of this very fertilizer audit. So, which is which?
Can you answer Eunice's question? It doesn't mean that when somebody is under code, you accept everything.
Allow him to answer my question.
Yeah, before he answers your question, there's just a point that I want you to understand here.
Yes, you can come.
With regards to the vote or us asking for documents.
Yes.
I think us as a committee or a National Assembly don't really rely on presumptions.
No.
For those reasons, I think we have to request for certain communications from your end in order to have a reference point. Because we need evidence in order to make our submissions or in order to be at the same level with you. We are not experts in the department or in the ministry. And until you serve us with the requisite information that we might need, we can all be at the same level. That is the purpose of requesting certain documents, not just because we don't trust the ministry.
No. That's not the case.
And also to add on to what he said, it doesn't mean that when you take vote, you trust whatever you say. No, also do that. You take vote, that is your but also we have to think and say whatever you say is true, please. So can you answer Honorable Eunice's question?
What was the question?
The question is, I said when Chair was reading, he made mention of renewal of contracts, and there it seems that there was no document prepared or to be shown. And here also, where is the document for that initial contract of 2021?
There is a document. At the end of the first procurement, we evaluate the supply performance assessment, which is GPPA 041. And there was a minutes where the contracts committee sits and evaluate where he read those performance mentioned in delivery, where we mentioned that they have to increase on their performance of delivery, which he read on the minutes, as you can recall. So it means that at the initial stage we evaluate, and we were satisfied, then we invite them for them to submit vote. And the invitation of letters, if you miss a copy, we still have copy.
Here it is mentioned that it's unknown.
No.
So I don't know.
He mentioned at that minutes, we evaluated. They meet, but we informed them to improve on their delivery schedule. He read the chair read.
You say, what did I read?
But the performance, they have on our minutes, they have to increase on their delivery performance. They have to improve on their delivery performance.
That is the second to deliver. Yeah. They should improve
on their delivery.
That was a recommendation by the evaluation committee.
That's what
I think what Honorable Yunusa wanted to ask, maybe you don't get it. The process that needs to renew.
That's what I'm saying. At the end, we have to evaluate them. After evaluation, we were satisfied and we invite a quote from them. And it was clearly stated on our bidding document, page 3 of the bidding document, which we submitted.
Can we hear from that page?
You have the bidding document there? Page 3.
You want me to read it?
Yeah.
If I would just comment.
No, wait, one by one.
So, Director, let's allow this submission to come in.
Yeah, okay.
With all due respect.
When we prepare the bidding document, page 3, for 2021 contract, the awardee of each lot will be informed in written on the total quantity required for 2022 on our bidding document that they purchase.
So, please, can I comment?
Yes, Honorable Bishop.
If I may understand, this is a contract for 2 years.
Exactly.
But
hold on.
No, it's a mistake.
You don't?
Sorry. No, because this particular point is very important. Okay,
what is your name?
Sorry, Abdullah. No, sorry.
I just addressed you again. You
sorry.
When I blocked the road,
no, sorry. No, sorry. I apologize. Yes. Okay, no worries. It's okay.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, my question is that, please, I do understand that in bidding, in most cases, the one who bid the lowest is given the contract. But here, there is a question, why was the lowest bidder not being awarded the contract?
Remember, in procurement, the 5 rights price come last. So we clearly state the price was not the case. We have certain criteria where he mentioned those lists where he was asking similar contract.
Lowest responsive bidder is not always considered if he or she did not respond to your criteria. Yes. If I respond to all your evaluation criteria and the lowest, you are under obligation to award me a contract.
Exactly.
Is that the case for you people?
Yes. Yeah, that was the case. They were awarded the contract based on the criteria we set on the evaluation reports.
Yeah, Honorable Leader.
Okay. Honorable, after anybody. Honorable,
Okay, thank you very much. I think my question will be looking at number 2 of the analysis.
How much do you subsidize?
No, not really. I'm not in fact looking at the questionnaire.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at the content of the document.
Okay.
And that's where my question will emerge from. According to the letter communicated to the aforementioned companies, that is Giant, GA, and Unit Solution respectively, which was dated the 15th of October 2021. The contract to supply fertilizer was for 2 years period. 5th of October, thank you, sir. The contract to supply fertilizer was for 2 years, 2021 and 2022 farming season. And I want to ask, why there is that separation? Because it seems the chain of supply was never 2 years. It seems to be on an annual basis. And I think we would like to have a clarity on this very matter. Why were the supplies not in store for 2 years instead for 1 year?
Yeah, can I step in? Yeah, because with the magnitude of fertilizer and some technicality involved, you cannot leave it as 2 years. At the end of the year, you have to assess his performance, especially when the technicality, that is the quality, which have to be satisfied. There's independent unit called SDS. If that is satisfied, then the following year, with your performance, if he performs well, that's the time you can sign the following subsequent year.
Honorable member.
The follow-up, please.
Okay. I want to help your question, so you follow. Okay.
No,
that's right.
I'll follow up. Thank you very much. That is well understood. But again, I seems to be still confused. Simply because as much as you have a mandate or you have a duty to actually review that contract document, but again, in one of the communications that I have saw, it was clearly stated that if you are to renew the contract, it has to be in line with the previous agreement. And looking at the cost of fertilizer today, it seems something is wrong somewhere, because there's an increase in cost, when actually the initial agreement of the contract was for 2 years. So even if there is an increase in the world market when it comes to purchase of fertilizer, I don't think that should really affect the cost of fertilizer for the following year, like in the actual year we are in.
Yes, and follow up to add on to what honorable member was asking. Is it my opinion of you guys embarked on a fixed and a performance procurement system? I'm committed to this opinion, they will report. Now, how many companies do you guys evaluate?
Evaluated?
Yes. 3. Thank you very much. No. Honorable Director, you said you have delegated the evaluation responsibility to them. Now they are speaking, you want to put words into their mouth. No, wait. Yes, exactly. Thank you very much. Okay, now, you said you have, in fact, evaluated 3 companies and awarded 3 companies. You understand? That is why even your evaluation report, I'm not very impressed with the evaluation report. This contract amount, the evaluation report was so scanty. Okay, you have done your administrative compliance, move to technical. You understand? They comply technically, you move to financial. Now you are telling me you have awarded to the lowest bidder when only 3 companies were reached to the finance stage. That's what you did in that.
Sorry.
Yes?
Can I comment? I mean, what
Okay,
there's a question already. If not,
I think that's the question.
Yes, that's the question. But they didn't answer this man. Yeah, then
So, Chair, and I think...
Okay, answer him now and also answer my question.
Can I just help to add to what he was talking about? So he's...
You want to answer honorable member's question?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Because his question is very important and it's so critical to this particular discussion. And it's about the timeline of the contract. In the submission, because I've reviewed those documents before as the internal auditor, and also being present at the bid evaluation process. What I understand and what is in the document, I believe, is that there was no contract for 2 years. And I believe no contract, no supplier would agree to enter into the supply of contract agreement. The bidding document, what happened is, to avoid delays, the corporation this 2021 engaged. So can I continue? Yeah. The corporation in 2021 wanted to engage into.
Somebody is speaking now. Chair, and you are.
Okay, I want to raise something. There's contract agreement. Let's see that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes. As far as the bidding document is concerned, it has provided for the selected suppliers, the most responsive bidders, to be awarded contract for the supply of fertilizer for 2 years. But it will be on yield. You'll be awarded contract to supply fertilizer to the corporation, like let's say in 2021, and the 2022 will be subjected to your performance and the quantity required. Why? Because MD has stated it here very clearly. In the supply of fertilizer, we have different stakeholders with different responsibilities. The Ministry of Finance are actually responsible based on the subsidy payment, the amount that government can allocate for the subsidy. They will now determine the quantity of fertilizer to be produced, sorry, to be supplied. The ministry, through the Ministry of Agriculture, will just recommend, because agriculture, through the assessment, will establish the quantity required by our Gambian farmers. But the Ministry of Finance, based on what they have in the basket, will now approve a certain quantity of fertilizer based on the project, based on the budget allocated for the subsidy. You understand? So in 2021, the Ministry of Finance never gave approval for 2022 supply. That was only sought, and you can see it in the correspondence. There was a letter dated, there was a letter dated, what was it, 6 January, from the Office of the President. This was in response to a letter and also series of follow-ups by the MD to the Ministry of Finance to give approval for the 2022 supply. Out of reluctance, without receiving any response, the MD wrote to Office of the President for support. And the Office of the President wrote to Ministry of Agriculture and copied the Permanent Secretary of Finance to work on the supply of fertilizer for the 2021 supply, rather. The 2021 supply. This letter was on the 6th. And it was after a series of follow-up, because earlier I stated clear, to avoid delays in the supply of fertilizer, the corporation, through the Minister of Agriculture, through the corporation, wanted to get this supply of fertilizer supplied to the farmers before the rainy season. Because we face so many difficulties. One, if it comes late, the farmers will be affected because the application of fertilizer is only done in a short period. After a certain period of the plant of the cropping season, it will be no use again. So they want to get it on time. That's one. Secondly, the distribution. There has been a series of challenges. Trucks actually falling down on the roads. You understand? So to avoid that, to ensure that we distribute everything before the rainy season, the ministry, through the corporation, wanted to get this on time. But to get the approval was actually delayed. Now, the finance ministry wrote to the Minister of Agriculture, and gave approval for the procurement of fertilizer for the 2021, 2022 season.
Sorry,
on the 12th.
No, I want to be sure what is it.
Yeah, on the 12th. No, this was submitted to you.
Discussion between NOAA, the SG, the president, the
yes, exactly. Yeah, it was submitted to you. This was submitted to you.
Yes, kindly read it to us after.
So on the 12th January, the permanent secretary wrote, given approval. It says the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs in writing in response to your letter, reference so and so, dated on the 7th December, regarding the above subject matter, given the timely procurement of fertilizer, timely procurement of fertilizer is very critical in the farming calendar, and that the procurement process may take a while, the ministry is urging you to start the procurement process of fertilizer for the 2021 farming season in order to avoid any delays. You understand? So now, the question comes now, why do we use restricted tender? Before this approval, he doesn't have the authority to start the procurement process. Now, he can read to you, and I think also this was submitted. I've reviewed this. Asked them several times, I've told them that in the future we should do this open tender, but there was no time. This was December. You prepare the bidding document, you send it to GPPA, it takes how many days? At least about 30 days before the suppliers will tender, if the bid value is also, you take a while. No, please allow me. And then the production of fertilizer is not actually like stored and produced and stored at the warehouse. They manufacture based on order. That also will take about 90 days or so. So if you start open tender in December or in January rather, before the fertilizer come here, it will be around August, September, November. So that was the justification for the restricted tender. That's why I say if you help us, we can provide you answers to this inside. Right. We will respectfully do so. So this was the response, and as far as this question is concerned, also to add to, there was a contract in 2021, Honorable. There was a contract in 2021, and I think the procurement officer can also avail that to you. And then subsequently in 2022, there was also a separate.
Honorable member, are you clear with that? Now, what I just want
for me,
clear question.
I'm not still
You're not
satisfied or convinced with the answer, simply because the letter he read still mentioned 2021, 2022. And you can see gaps, to be honest with you. You can see gaps. For example, even looking at the quantity of supply, it was talking about 10,000 tons. Yes? But if you look at the following year, they have reduced it to 7,000 in order to match with the budget, if I can understand. Yeah? But until then, prices have been increased. It's not about the cost being increased from government end, because government has minimized the quantity of purchase. But again, if you look at the cost attached, there's an increasement. And still, the quantity of fertilizer that was supposed to be supplied is still low, because it's from 10,000 to 7,000.
I can give you an answer?
Help, please. This is why
the answer is, as far as the years are concerned, when you say, maybe the PS also can help, 2020, 2021 cropping season, the season actually will always overlap. The season doesn't end in 1 year. 2020, you don't have a full season for 2020. Because the season starts here when? Around July also, and then it actually ends in what? February, before the farmers will do their thing. So that's why we say 2020, 2021. The fertilizer we are talking about, the 14,000, was for the 2020, 2023 cropping season. Yes, 22, 23.
I'm not talking about the 14,000. Point of correction. Yes. I'm talking about the 10,000 metric ton.
Let me tell you, the 10,000
reduced to 7,000 metric ton.
The 20,000, let me just say this clear. As far as we are concerned, the 20,000 that was purchased was entirely for the 2021 cropping season. In 2020, for the 2022-2023 cropping season, my brother, we had sleepless nights. Them, but also I'm always there. We had sleepless nights because what? The prices were skyrocketing. If the ministry was going to procure approve for 20,000 tons, we'll be talking about close to how many hundreds of millions in subsidy. It was basically almost impossible. Yes. And for your information, also probably the managing director and him can also show you proof of submissions made by the suppliers because of the extra cost that they incur. Because before they actually got the approval, the prices had already changed. And we're talking about hundreds of thousands in dollars. But the corporation actually refused that the contract was actually signed. So if that answers your question.
Yeah, this is what exactly I'm trying to put across. Yeah. What I am trying to put across here, if you understand me, I'm very much conscious about the fact that there were some changes made. That is, from 10,000, I'm not in fact talking about the 20 or the 40,000 metric ton. From that 10,000 metric ton for 2021 to 7,000 metric ton. Meaning, even if the ministry is incurring extra cost, it has not reflected. The cost seems to remain the same, but prices at national level seems to be skyrocketing.
No, the cost is not the same.
No,
okay,
honorable member, you say the name again.
The cost of the fertilizer. No, I think there's an error. The cost of the fertilizer, you even made that error in your reading. The cost of the fertilizer for 2021 was not 965. It wasn't. It went up.
To how much?
No.
It went up. Because 2021 it was less than that. It was less than that.
Yeah. Then if it went up, how much was the increment? This is almost more than
everything is submitted.
Okay, I think it shouldn't be.
It is in the document submitted.
It shouldn't be on assumptions.
When we prepare contract, I take the honor to announce that the Honorable Chair for the Agricultural Committee has just arrived, Honorable Umar Dam. Now, when you...
I'm sorry, Honorable Chair, sorry for... Let me apologize to you. Sorry for the to the withheld committee were on top.
Yeah, exactly.
I was thinking that the meeting is not.
You are right, you are right.
And all my phones were somehow approved.
Apology accepted.
Thank you so much.
When you are transporting these fertilizers and the trucks folder, who incur the cost? The supplier or the ministry?
Once loaded onto the trucks, it is supplier. But
this event of truck falling down occurred, right? It's true.
Yes.
So as the supplier pay for
No.
commodities?
We are saying previously that used to be a challenge.
Let me just help you. I think maybe what he's referring to.
Yes.
When you order fertilizer, you order it here for bar. And when it gets here, we also pay for the transportation to our various depots in the country. We have 9 depots across the country, North Bank and South Bank. And in some cases, during drainage season, what we say is if the fertilizer arrives late, in the past, what used to happen was that because of the conditions of the roads to our depots, you may have those problems, in terms of access to our depots. But that's why we wanted to go early to avoid all of those problems. I think that's what they're saying.
So that's number 2. Your contract agreement does it capture any variation of that? Because you, in your statement, it's like you said the buyer increased the cost of certain things, because that has to be under the variation order. Your contract document is there, so you read us to we hear it. Whether you guys capture it, because a buyer cannot just come and impose something on you that you do not ask him to do so. So that's supposed to fall under the variation order.
But it was you remember?
You see, what we are trying to say here is, in the building document, we said 2 years to avoid this, because we know that this process takes time. Open tender can take up to 6 months or beyond. Now, especially given that it's a specialized commodity, fertilizer, like you rightly said. Once you get the approval, then you have to inform them so that they can start manufacturing. During the pandemic, some manufacturing plants were scaling down on their operational staff. So it became a problem in terms of even access, because there was a lot of competition. Even some countries like Turkey, they were even at that point were saying that they may even stop exporting fertilizer because they were catering for their own citizens. So in terms of the price, the 2 years they are completely different. 2021 we negotiated for a price based on their submissions and then based on the evaluation of the committee. 2022 is a different ball game. I can even show you Bloomberg reports. Bloomberg, I want to believe that you know Bloomberg, they're reputable. You know, when they were saying that fertilizer price globally, it may even cause food security crisis in Africa. Yeah. The prices were going up. CNN, BBC, so it is not the fault of the suppliers or whatever, it is the market realities. The market realities, the manufacturers, in fact, securing a slot to manufacture fertilizer was a big problem because of the scale down of the pandemic. You know what happened, you knew what happened in China. There was a lockout. In the past, where the fertilizer was coming from China, it was difficult. So these were, it's not like the price, they just, you know, willfully whatever, increase the price. It's the market realities.
Yes, that I agree with you 100%. Yeah. You see, I always said, even when I was a civil servant and project whatever, our actions and processes must be guided. Do you understand? This is where transparency will come. Do you understand? Next time, do you understand? That should be guided by way of document. That should be something to prove in the agreement that if this happens, if A, B happens, A, B, and C will happen too. This should be there. This is a national process. This is a government process for that matter. And that's number one. Number two, we will also agree, or the committee will make that recommendation probably. You cannot give it to the same comment. Next time, let's open it. Let's open the process again. Please. Let's not say this is going to be 2 years. Yeah, what? We have to come again next year. We are going to do. No, that's not a good process. Next time, I want to them, and when that happens now, then next year also open again so that new business can come in. We cannot fix ourselves to only
that's what we want.
Yeah, exactly. And we can do this.
Yeah. I'm happy that you raised this.
You know why?
I'm happy that you raised this.
I'm talking. Do you understand? So next time, let's open this process. Let's make sure more companies to come and participate in the process. Now, and you guys, all these processes you're talking about, because for me, I know procurement is a process. I can't convince this committee that because you were working under pressure. You guys are experts in your area, as Ture mentioned, by way of all your good qualifications. You guys in the law, ready system start in this country, what time? What time do we need to start processing? Because I look at that later, Nua and the president. The president told him to escalate the urgency of the matter. Was it escalated? It wasn't escalated. That's why we have this problem. Because if that happened now, I think the SB will run the Ministry of Finance to make sure this process is escalated because it's operating. This is what you guys don't do.
We did it actually, Chair. What Ture was saying is we wrote letters since 6 months ago because we cannot do it without accessing finance. If the accessing finance would require the Ministry of Finance to guarantee you. We wrote letters so that they can initiate the discussions with the banks. But, and Mr. Ture like I said, because during that period, I think they were busy with the budget process, we could not get feedback. And it was at that moment in January when the office of the president intervened and informed the road to the Ministry of Agriculture to take the necessary action.
Okay.
Yes.
Perhaps the way I understand it, you're saying that before, during the intervention of the President's office, it was kind of a bit late. So, and you are telling us now you have to get approval from the Ministry of Finance to have guarantee for funds to be able to do all this process.
Okay.
So therefore, I will urge my chairman also to see with the Ministry of Finance to help address this issue next time to come. That's the only way we can help each other.
Thank you.
We are here to help each other. So now the problem can lie maybe at the Ministry of Finance for approving for funds. So we can also put the Ministry of Finance into tax to help at the due time. Next time.
Thank you. Honorable Chair wants to.
Yeah, but like we're gonna work on this also. Like you rightly said, if they want to be assisted, the committee is here. When they know that they are facing a problem, when they get a call us, we call them and call the Ministry of Finance. And that will make things easy. You have somebody who can assist you, who can accelerate your actions. Why not you contact the person? I think that's one is easy. One thing I want to happen is to make the best of the committee. That's why we are here. We are not here for any other reason. We can assist you. That's all. The health committee is very good in that, and that's why the health is doing a lot in this country. Whenever they have a problem with the Minister of Finance, they call us. We call both of them together. Yes, and the results are immediately. That's what I want. That's what I wanted to do.
In addition to what they say, he deliberately mentioned that it was difficult for them to get the approval until a letter came from the office of the president. Yes. You see? So if consultation was made at the right time, we could have come to a conclusion earlier than this.
No, I think, sorry, can I go, sir? I don't know about that after. So.
Yes, you say that. I'm going to.
No, I mean,
I still board on the
Official
No, yes, and that's what they mean. I mean, next time,
that's why when he said that we are allowed to
come to the media now, so I just want some time. And then I will take this, we take that.
Chair, but you have to be very fair.
Not me.
No, allow him to go. Chair, you have to know very well that select committees don't sit at all times. And we are referring to very critical times to get this fertilizer. At that time, around November, it was very critical for this country. We were going towards election. People were with last celebration was also wrapping up. So if you want us to come and engage them at the time.
Maybe at that time it was important.
No, going forward, yes, you know it's very, I'm just this why I told it to you, that it was very difficult at the time. So going forward, we will continue to engage as you propose. But this one is the previous that we are not talking about.
Chair, like I said, I think I want to differ with him a bit because you're right. As much as we are here, we're here to serve the general public of the Gambians. And it shouldn't be about we are in political peak. You shouldn't be communicated. I think for us, even on the day of presidential elections, if there is anything on the table that requires us to deal with, we should be more than happy to come forward and do the work as required. This is why we are paid, sir. I can see you looking into the eyes of your people, but with all due respect, this is the truth. We don't have any busy schedule. Anytime we are needed, we should be all out to do our work as expected. So there should be no excuse as to whether we have busy schedules or whether we don't have busy schedules. Our task here is to do our oversight funds.
At that point in time, the committee was on, that's the fact. And then the National Assembly was in active session also. So if we are not in active session, how can we complete anything? That's very impossible.
Let's make it an internal issue.
In our recommendations, depending on how much Gambians really
our recommendation is whenever they have a problem, they come to the committee.
Yes, Honorable Dabo, you are very right. This committee, we want to achieve a specific target in our recommendations, and then we can talk about those kind of things, please. It's not a holding brief for the visiting delegates, please. During our recommendations, because we will show recommendation about this, then we can take it from there. Let's not take brief for officers invited to come and answer to your committee to perform your adequate and original oversight function. If you do that, then let me give them a mindset. So any honorable member, yes?
I just want to thank you for availing yourselves.
I already gave floor to us.
Sorry. Thank you very much. With your permission, I want to engage PS if you would allow me. I think we all knew that the price of fertilizer at the moment is a common issue. Say we are asking for $2,000. Last year it was $700, $750. As a ministry or as a government, when it comes to subsidizing the price of fertilizer, what's going to be the take in order to support farmers to have this at a lower price?
Thank you, Honorable. The way the fertilizer issue goes, the Minister of Agriculture can only plead also with in fact, subsidy as a budget item is not held by any sector. It's being controlled by the Minister of Finance itself. So basically, we can only present our prices that this is and then we will say this is the kind of this is only the Minister of Finance who can offer what subsidy can give. I think the National Assembly approves a certain amount during the budget appropriation bill, and then the Minister of Finance, depending on their resources and other things, will determine what subsidy they can give at a particular time. For example, during the fertilizer for this year, the Ministry made serious efforts to bring fertilizer as low as $1,500 to $1,000. But then it was made clearly distinct, abundantly clear that this is what government, because we try to address it to the other donors, I mean like IFA, the World Bank and ADB, but it was not successful. So the offer of what we had for the subsidy was only what came from government itself. Basically, and then it was determined by the actual world market prices. For example, if we calculated the cost of the fertilizer for what we procure, what is being on sale now, you can see that it was ranging from $3,000 up to almost $4,000, depending on the different kinds of fertilizer. So basically, what government has done for subsidies here is almost about 1,000, I believe 1,000 something that is per bag. That's what government is doing for subsidies here. But then that budget is being controlled and only managed by the Minister of Finances, not by the sector.
Yes, Honorable.
I just wanted to ask this question. Did the government give equal subsidy to all the bidders?
The bidders don't enjoy subsidies. The bidders, they are businessmen. They go through a procurement process so that they can supply at a cost. And that's what they do. So it's when the government buys it now, what they can sell it to the farmers. That's where it's subsidy.
Yes, it has brought to my attention. If you will continue to talk, then now things better take off.
I mean, okay, these are general, that's why I mean,
yes, can you come on the
How much have you supervised? It's true.
And I will chair is coming to 1 o'clock right now. Can you please?
Okay. Because I'm coming from the province is just right away. So I just want to know PS and whether there's any possibility, or still these fertilizer to be reduced. If there's any way. Because people are saying that at a price of $2,000, still now the farmers cannot go to the sectors to buy fertilizer. And they are like that.
I mean, just like I just
at least if they can hack it at 1,005.
No, just like I responded to the honorable question. I think yes. I mean, the subsidy doesn't reside with us. It's by the Minister of Finance, and then the ministry together with the DEC really appealed for that kind of but then it was impossible this year because of the tough economic conditions maybe and the actual because the subsidy as in absolute terms has actually increased. The amount of money that government is putting into the subsidy because the purchasing price of the fertilizer that has gone up. So that is just like fuel. No matter what subsidy the government puts in, because if the other prices go, government can say, okay, I don't take any taxes from it, but then the prices will have to go up because of the international. We are not producing it, so we buy it at the market price. So it's that market price that really is determining pricing. The inflation is global. So I think that's where these issues come. And then government has done really a lot in this case.
Honorable Chair. Okay. Yes, thank you very much. Again, to add up to the question to the Honorable Chair, that is Honorable Dabo, like there was a time the ministry came here, you came here, so in our first engagement concerning fertilizer issue in the country, the price, you did tell us that when the 2,500 is the price in down. But when the problem of Ukraine and Russia arises, you find it very difficult. You have no other option but to take it to 2,500. at that time. Okay, but you are also making some engagements, including organizing donor conference. I don't know if I'm right. You organize donor conference with your donors, and then tell them your constraints, and the central government also. But we understand that central government did its part by subsidizing, I think 500 out of the 2,500, and now the fertilizer price is at 2,000. So, is there any effect with that engagement with your donors? Does that engagement brought any ease to the current situation?
I cannot say that it didn't bring anything, because one thing, the concern that was, for example, by the World Bank about their, they have a certain questions about subsidy. Okay. But then what we came with, although the World Bank informed us that they have already, through their projects, procured seed also as support. So basically they said, okay, let them see what the other partners will do. Okay. So as far as up to date, we have some pledges from the ADB to procure, but then in fact not to subsidize, but to procure additional fertilizer. And we are also still now working with IFAD and the ISD on the same issue. But then this, as far as subsidy, the money from the international partners, financing partners will not go to the subsidy. So they will just try to procure more fertilizer. Because from an assessment of the by the World Bank, made by the World Bank, it was assessed that the needs of the country as far as fertilizer is concerned is about 52,000 metric tons per year. And then we are far below. So basically we are trying to see how best to get that amount at least 20,000 or 30,000 metric tons in the country. And then on another note, yes, the fertilizer issue subsidy is very, that's why we are working again with our partners also and with the GDC and everybody to make it smarter, for example. That those people who should be targeted and how they will be targeted. Because if you bring fertilizer and put it as a subsidy for everybody, accessible to everybody, those who really need it and those who really, there are some big farmers who really can buy it at any price because they are making good profits on their production. And then, but then we are not segregating those people. And there are people like smallholder farmers who are basically subsistence growers who need maybe cheaper fertilizer or even free fertilizer cannot be segregated that way. So I think those are some of the challenges that we are working on.
Okay, honorable members, time is now like to 1 o'clock. The Ministry of Agricultural Officials and the Ministry officials, we thank all of you for coming. But one thing, I'm going to say this on behalf of the committee, our farmers will not continue to suffer because of certain institutional negligence or lack of institutional collaboration to deliver fertilizer at appropriate time for farmers. This is not going to be accepted by this committee in our subsequent engagement. Because fertilizer issue year in, year out is a problem in this country, and it's like we are not still learning any learning curve to that. Next time it happens, what I realized from all the submission and with other honorable members, this is lack of institutional collaboration that leads to this office of this officer. So, and next time it happens, I will move a motion for this committee to set up a commission of inquiry by way of section 109, section 3, paragraph C of the 1997 Constitution to make sure we establish a commission of inquiry. Because you guys have talked about quite a lot of procurement procedures. We are not procurement specialists, we just try to pick here and there. When that happens now, a procurement specialist and other things, other low-minded individuals, we present over that commission. And the report of the commission, we are going to make sure it is submitted to the National Assembly, not at executive level. So please, let's be very careful. Next year, this type of problem does not happen. Because I said if we establish the commission of inquiry, the report will come to the National Assembly, not to the executive, please. So please, I beg all of you in the name of Allah, our farmers in the province are our sisters, our brothers, our fathers. Let's make sure we improve on our fertilizer procurement process. Thank you very much.
To be honest, I think maybe you don't get our earlier solution or presentation by MD. This issue of late delivery of fertilizer is history since 2021. I think you have to understand.
It's history?
It's history.
It's history.
Since 2021. As we speak, this year's fertilizer came around February, and it's already distributed to our outlets. So I don't know which.
Still at a very high cost.
No, you don't
That's a different case.
It's not about the late delivery to our
that's a
farmers.
different. That's a
And you
different.
said our farmers are still suffering. I am putting it to you, and it has earlier been mentioned by the managing director that when we took over the office at DGC, this late delivery and late procurement of fertilizer is history, and it is on record.
I also talk about your procurement process.
Yes, okay, thank you. We are taking note
Yeah,
of
let's
that.
just adjust ourselves. Procurement, I have been in it since 2012.
No, I know.
Let's not go in deep into this procurement process. That is why I said next time it happens, we will invoke our powers by way of Section 109, Section 3, Paragraph 5. So make sure that we establish a function and the report will come to the committee for scrutiny.
I'm not denying that.
So that next time we can be very careful to make sure that fertilizer is delivered at the right time, subsidies
I'm not
are being
denying that.
presented to the farmers.
I'm not denying that.
It's not a fight.
What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, we are taking note of your arguments.
Thank you.
And then we will improve on that on the procurement side.
Thank
But
you.
on the late delivery, fertilizer has been delivered to our farmers on time since 2020.
Time is up now. The committee is our recommendation and send to your minister.
I think FDMD is just a matter of making notes like the committees and are not. And we agree that the fertilizer is here on time. What the management was telling for you is the issue of these procurement processes. I think it's important that we have a one-stop step, stops. For all these activities, there will be things will be accelerated next time. I think that's one.
The meeting is closed.
Allow me just to go on to a closing.
Okay. Normally we want the PS to do the closing remark.
I would like to thank the committee for this invitation and for allowing us to also share our side of the process. And also, we also appreciate the recommendation that we have put across. No system, but there is always room for improvement. And we take note of that. But I would also want to plead and implore the Honorable Minister. I know here, Honorable Chair, to tell him that we also have a fiduciary responsibility, to execute our duties in line with the regulations and standards. We do not do any sort of negligence. We do not allow any form of negligence on our part when we are executing our deliverables. We try to go the extra mile. I just want to assure the Honorable Chair that this is what GDC is about. Like my audit manager said, you said this committee is for difference. We appreciate that, and I think we observe that. But also, DGC is DGC with a difference. We don't talk about quality because it's not about, or just remember, what they are telling you is the background. It was difficult to get the right people. Right now, you are scrutinizing our documents. It was difficult at the beginning to even scrutinize because we don't have the capacity. So we were able to bring all of these people together. So it's a process. And we will learn from our mistakes and we will improve if any. But like I said, no system is perfect. If recommendations are on board, we will take note of those recommendations and then we'll try to implement it. I know if he has experience in procurement, he cannot be of help to DGC. Yeah, so he can be of help to DGC. And that cannot be with that committee. He can come to DGC. He can come to DGC and help with, look around how your process is. Maybe you can do A, B, and C.
Thank you. We only help you.
Yeah,
the committee will sit, write our recommendation.
Yeah.
Send to you people.
Yeah, we
will do that, okay?
We appreciate that.